So a week ago, I was talking about how J.D. Vance is preparing to replace Trump as president. This is because J.D. Vance met with Rupert and Lachlan Murdoch. I think he probably met them in secret, unbeknownst to Trump, talked to them in person for hours. And this is a couple weeks after, or a month or so after Joe Biden, after Trump has called Joe Biden a robot, which I was saying they should 25A him for. I looked up what the 25th Amendment says, and it's 50% of Congress or the vice president and some portion of Trump's cabinet can remove him for being unfit for office. No trial needed. He's just obviously unfit for office, so they can remove it. Makes sense, because if you're unfit for office, you probably can't tell yourself that you're unfit for office, but other people can tell, and so they can make that determination. At the time that I looked this up a month or two ago, I said, well, there's no chance J.D. Vance will do it because he's totally sucking up to Trump. But, of course, I should have known that, J.D. Vance called Trump Hitler when he was criticizing him, or we took it as a criticism, although it turned out to be an endorsement. And J.D. Vance is more than willing to step in that role. He took the vice president role in order to do this because he wants to be president and will eat his words, eat his criticism, eat crow over calling Trump Hitler, or be fine with that basically in order to be Hitler himself when he replaces him. But Park Rose Permaculture mentioned this 2 days ago, a day or two ago. I was posting about it a week ago, 7 days ago, and I've noticed this is kind of typical for me. I'm a little bit ahead of the curve, or ahead of the people that they promote anyway. I was talking about how Trump, Vance, Pope Francis, within hours of the event happening, of the murder taking place, and TikTok gave me a strike and eventually kicked me off for that statement. Whereas a few hours or days later, everybody else on TikTok was making the same observation, that Trump vanced Pope Francis. So just because I'm ahead of the game, I get penalized for things that I see in advance. Again, I posted about this 7 days ago when I first saw a Minority Report, TYT, and you know that if it's TYT, they're trying to distract or change the subject because they work for Putin and they work for Trump. And they, try to edge leftists and get all the attention from leftists by pretending to speak to the issues, but backing away from the obvious conclusions, like Adam Mockler denying that Trump is a Putin puppet. He makes himself a Putin puppet, even though everything else he says is good. As long as he reserves that conclusion, then he's protecting Trump and Putin. And so the same thing with TYT. They're suggesting these various reasons why Vance met the Lachlans, or met Lachlan and Rupert Murdoch.